Welcome to another video from 181CloseNow.com. My name is Corey Chappelle. I'm the Senior Closing Options Analyst for 181CloseNow.com. Today we want to do a segment that focuses on comparing our services and our company to those of some of our competitors. Today specifically we will be looking at one of our more well-known competitors, 18002SellHomes. If you're familiar with the Oklahoma City area, 18002SellHomes has been buying houses in Oklahoma City for probably as long as we have, if not maybe a little bit longer. We'll get to that later in the segment. So let's get started with a little bit of background about the company. 18002SellHomes was originally founded by Leo Kingston. It was not his first adventure into real estate. I'm sure it will probably not be his last. Leo has been buying houses since he graduated from high school, so quite some time. If you've ever seen the commercials, you might recognize his wife Paulette Kingston. People often mistake her for Linda Soundtrack. I promise you that is not Linda Soundtrack. That is indeed Paulette. And their commercials are made to be memorable. 18002SellHomes is not actually the company name, but the phone number. And they want that to stick in your mind because they know that a lot of times when they're doing marketing, people aren't ready to sell their house right then and there. But they might be 3, 6, 9 months down the road. So they try and make the commercials as memorable as possible. Now, something that people don't really recognize about 18002SellHomes is, unlike 181CloseNow, when you call 18002SellHomes, you might not actually be getting the team that you think you're getting. That's for a number of reasons. Number one, a couple of years back, Leo actually sold the company to a very close friend of his. So the team is completely different now than it was just a few short years ago. Number two, the people that work at 18002SellHomes tend to change every now and then. So you might have somebody come out to look at your house that's worked there for 3 days, or you might have somebody that comes out to look at your house that's worked there for 5 years. You never really know. And lastly, the licensing agreements. Most people aren't aware that, much like a franchise setup, 18002SellHomes has for some time now had licensing agreements in place. So if you call from, let's say, Oklahoma City about a house to sell here locally, you might be routed to the main 18002SellHomes team. However, if you want to sell a house in, let's say, Tulsa, Oklahoma, that phone call might get routed to a completely different team that works for a completely different company that's simply paying to use the 18002SellHomes name and to receive leads when people call in for that particular area. Same if you were to live in Dallas or Houston or somewhere outside the Oklahoma City metro area. Now, regularly, whenever you sell a house, the last step in selling your house is having a formal closing. This is typically done at a title company. Reason being, title company is essentially an independent third party. They dot all the I's, cross all the T's, they make sure the sellers fulfilled all their responsibilities, they make sure that the buyers fulfilled all their responsibilities, and they take care of anything in between. So normally at a regular closing, keys change hands, checks are made, and then the title company sends the deed into the county to be recorded. This is very important because once that deed is recorded, transfer of the house has actually happened. Until that deed has been recorded, the world hasn't been notified, so the transaction isn't technically complete. Now, whether it's to save money or for numerous other reasons, there were instances where 18002SellHomes failed to record the deed. How did they get around this? Well, they weren't having formal closings at title companies. They would just have people come into their office, sign a couple of documents, sign the deed, write a check, and be done with it. By leaving the title company out of the process, they were able to hold on to the deed and record it when it was beneficial to them. Now, why would they do this? Well, when you record the deed, it is public information. Any information related to real property is public information and can easily be looked up. And when you record the deed, you also have to tell the county how much you paid for the property. So that information goes into the public record too. Well, like a lot of companies that buy houses, oftentimes 18002SellHomes would want to resell that property later on. And if they recorded the deed early, when the closing actually happened, as would normally happen, then their competitors could see how much they paid for a house. So let's say that they had a property that they purchased that they wanted to sell. I could go into the public records and find out exactly how much they paid for it. This put them in a really bad position from a negotiating standpoint, so their solution was just to not record the deed right away, which bought them a little bit more time and helped alleviate that problem. Now, personally, I feel that is unethical. I'm not going to speak to the legality of it. However, in my opinion, it's just unacceptable. That's one of the reasons that 181CloseNow absolutely insists on having formal closings at formal title companies, so things like that cannot happen. Now, the repercussions of this could have been very, very bad. With the deed not recorded, technically the house was still in the former owner's name. That means that if there were city liens that were continuing to pile up, they were piling up against the former seller. Also, the former seller who thought that the property no longer belonged to them could actually be summoned to court, and if they failed to show up to court, there could actually be an arrest warrant issued for them. Also, further still, let's say somebody was walking down the sidewalk and was going door to door selling something and walked up to that particular house that you thought you sold 2 weeks ago, knocked on the door, slipped, fell, broke their ankle. Now there's liability. Well, the liability would most likely still lie with the previous owner because the house was still in their name. So generally speaking, it was just bad all the way around. We had a client who called us because this happened to them, and it was just not a good situation. So when in doubt, even if you're not working with 181 Close Now, even if you're not working with 18002SellHomes or a home buying company, anytime you're doing a transaction with a house, anytime you're buying or selling a piece of property, always, always, always use a title company. That's the easiest way to keep you safe. Now, oftentimes when people compare companies that buy houses, they want to have several people come out and make several offers. And I always think this is a good thing. I'm always more than happy to have our competitors come out, because there's two types of competitors. There's real competitors and there's the wannabes. Now, real competitors are always going to offer very, very close to the same purchase price. The only way that we're not going to offer very close to the same purchase price is if one of us massively missed some huge detail. It does happen, it just doesn't happen very often. So anytime that one of our real competitors like 18002SellHomes is out there, we're more than happy to have that. Because at the end of the day, it's usually going to come down to, who do you trust more? Who do you feel can get the transaction done quickest? Who do you feel will keep you better informed? Who do you feel will provide you better service? If the purchase price is the same between the competitors, which it usually is pretty close, it usually comes down to a matter of who do you think can give you the best service and the best value while going through the process of selling your home. Now, what happens if somebody comes out and makes you an offer that's ridiculously higher than all of our other competitors? Well, they're probably not a real competitor. They're probably a fly-by-night quote-unquote guru who read a book or went to a seminar and has never actually bought or sold a house before in their entire life. Unfortunately, this is a real problem in our industry. It's something that I plan to make an entire series of videos about, and it happens all the time. If you have 3 companies that come out and give you pretty close to the same price, and then you have one guy that comes out and his price is 2 or 3 times that much, you're probably dealing with somebody who just went to a seminar yesterday and has no clue what they're doing. They lack the experience to know what they're doing, and they lack the experience to know how they need to price the house when they buy it to know how they're going to make money later on down the road. So the question often comes up, who is Oklahoma City's oldest cash home buyer? Is it 18002SellHomes or is it 181 Close Now? This is kind of a chicken and the egg scenario. It's really hard to tell. Leo was buying houses shortly after graduating from high school, so he's been doing it for quite some time. 181 Close Now, on the other hand, can trace our real estate experience back almost 4 generations now to the late 1940s, early 1950s. So who's the older of the two companies is really hard to say. Both of our companies have been buying houses in the Oklahoma City area for several decades, and both of our teams are extremely experienced and well-versed in what they're doing. So I always leave it kind of to the chicken or the egg thing, but it's always good to be one of the oldest and one of the most experienced companies around. One thing that we always recommend is check out Client Testimonials. If you want to see some of the client testimonials from 181 Close Now's previous clients, they're available on YouTube, or you can check them out on our website under our client testimonial page. Anytime you're dealing with real estate, it doesn't matter if you're hiring a company to buy your house, sell your house, a broker, a realtor, whatever, always check out testimonials. Find out how clients in the past have been treated by the company and what they thought of the experience and whether or not they would use them again. So where do we buy houses? Well, we buy houses all over the Oklahoma City metro area. Much like 18002SellHomes and other home buyers in the area we buy in Oklahoma City, Moore, Norman, Bethany, Mustang, Yukon, Del City, Midwest City, The Village, War Acres, Edmond, pretty much everywhere from Norman in the south to Edmond in the north, from Yukon and Mustang in the west over to almost, I would say, Choctaw in the east, Midwest City, Del City, Choctaw, somewhere in that area. So you might notice that we've been featured on several major news organizations, the CW, NBC, ABC, Fox, and many, many others. We are proud to be one of Oklahoma's most experienced home buyers. You can always get in touch with us by calling 181CloseNow. You can also go to our website, 181CloseNow.com, or you can just Google 181CloseNow and it will take you directly to our website. So when comparing our services to that of some of our competitors out there, I like to let everybody know there's really no secrets in this business. There's nothing really industry proprietary or business proprietary. We all pretty much do the same thing. We go in, we look at the condition of the house, the location of the house, and the potential value of the house, and then we have to figure out at what price we can purchase the house to turn around and make a profit on it later on, whether that's purchase it to fix it and resell it, purchase it to keep it as a rental. So anytime you're dealing with us or one of our major competitors, our prices should generally come in about the same. Like I said, one of the big key giveaways that you're dealing with somebody who really doesn't know the market, doesn't know the business, and doesn't know what they're doing is if they offer you way, way, way more for the property than anybody else has. So in future videos, I will also do a series specifically about this so you know what to watch for when having multiple people come out to make offers on your house. But today, I hope you know a little bit more about 181 Close Now, 1-800-2SellHomes, and about how we offer services in the Oklahoma City metro area buying houses. As I said earlier, there is never any reason not to involve a title company in your transaction. If you're going to take the time to sell a property, or if you're going to take the time to buy a property, use a title company. There are plenty of things that we will touch on later on that make it very clear just how valuable title companies can be. But the last thing you should ever have to worry about when selling your house is whether or not you're going to have legal or liability repercussions later on, simply because a deed didn't get recorded in a timely manner. So other than that, the two services are pretty much the same. We offer about the same kind of prices, about the same kind of services. Our thing is we want you to feel like family. We're not going to do 500 transactions a month like some companies out there. We're going to stick to just a couple that we know we can do quickly, efficiently, effectively, and give you the best service humanly possible. Our goal is when you hit that closing table, we want you to feel like family. If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of us at 181-CLOSE-NOW. You can give us a call or go to the website, or you can email us directly at support@181closenow.com. For 181 Close Now, I've been Corey Chappelle, Senior Closing Option Analyst. We hope this video has been informative, and we hope to see you very soon. Take care, guys.